Welcome to Get a Deep Sleep. Take a moment now to settle into a comfortable position. Allow your body to relax, letting the day gently fall away. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to focus or try. Simply allow your eyes to close when they feel ready, and let this story carry you calmly into the night. The forest is quiet in the way only a warm night can be, when the air is soft and the world seems to slow down on its own. Moonlight rests gently across the treetops, not bright, not sharp, but smooth and pale, like a thin layer of light laid carefully over leaves and branches. The ground beneath the trees holds the day's warmth, and it rises faintly into the night air, making everything feel calm and welcoming. A narrow path winds through the forest, packed earth and scattered leaves, the kind of path that has been walked so many times it no longer needs to be made. It curves slowly between trunks and low shrubs, never turning suddenly, never surprising. The leaves overhead shift lightly when a small breeze passes through, and the sound is soft and repeating, like quiet fabric moving in slow waves. Alina walks along this path with unhurried steps, her pace gentle and steady. She is wrapped in a light shawl that moves softly against her shoulders whenever she breathes or shifts her posture. The shawl is warm enough to be comforting, light enough to feel like a calm layer rather than a weight. Her hands rest loosely at her sides, fingers relaxed, and her shoes make a faint, predictable sound as they press into the earth and lift again. A few steps behind her, Rowan follows with the same quiet ease. He carries a small lantern, though the moonlight is enough to see by. The lantern's glow is soft and amber, and it swings slightly with each step, casting a gentle moving circle of light that glides over roots and stones without ever flashing. Rowan's breathing is slow and even, and he walks as if he has all the time in the world. The forest around them feels settled. Tree trunks rise tall and steady, their bark textured and dark in the moonlight. Ferns and low plants gather along the edges of the path, their leaves catching faint silver highlights. Somewhere deeper in the woods, a small owl calls once, then becomes quiet again, leaving the night undisturbed. Alina pauses for a moment to rest her hand lightly against the trunk of a tree beside the path. The bark is cool and firm under her palm, grounding and steady. She lets her hand fall back to her side, and she continues walking, her steps still slow and soft. Rowan's lantern continues its gentle swing. The light moves in a calm rhythm, left and right, as predictable as breathing. The amber glow touches fallen leaves and makes them look warm and golden for a moment. Then the light drifts away again, leaving the moonlight to rest in its quiet place. The air smells faintly of pine and damp soil, a clean, earthy scent that feels comforting and familiar. When Alina inhales, the breath feels smooth and warm. When she exhales, it leaves her softly, blending into the stillness of the forest. Rowan's breath follows the same calm pattern, each inhale and exhale unforced, come to a small clearing where the trees open slightly, allowing more moonlight to reach the ground. The grass here is short and soft, and it holds the warmth of the day. Alina steps into the clearing and slows even more, letting the open space surround her. Rowan follows, the lantern's light now less necessary, but still present, still gentle. In the center of the clearing, a smooth stone sits half buried in the earth, its surface pale in the moonlight. Alina sits on the stone slowly, feeling its cool firmness through the fabric of her clothing. She lets her shoulders soften. Rowan stands nearby for a moment, then sits on the grass, folding his legs comfortably and resting the lantern beside him. The lantern's glow pools softly on the grass, mixing with the moonlight. The two lights blend, creating a calm, warm atmosphere. The forest sounds remain gentle and steady. Leaves rustle faintly. Insects make soft, repeating sounds from the undergrowth, never loud, never changing suddenly. The night feels stable and safe. Alina rests her hands in her lap, palms warm, fingers loose. She looks up at the canopy above the clearing, where branches form a dark lace against the pale sky. The moon is partly hidden behind thin leaves, and its light filters through in soft patterns. Nothing moves quickly. The patterns shift only when the breeze passes, and even then, the movement is slow. Rowan reaches for a small cloth and unfolds it carefully. The fabric is soft and worn, the kind that has been folded and unfolded many times. He sets it on the grass and places 2 small cups on it. Then he takes a simple flask from his bag, pours a warm drink into the cups, and sets the flask down again. The motions are quiet and measured, each one gentle. He offers 1 cup to Alina. She takes it with both hands, feeling the warmth spread into her fingers. The cup is smooth and solid. The steam rises slowly, curling into the air and disappearing. The scent is mild, like herbs and honey, soft enough not to draw attention, comforting enough to feel familiar. Alina takes a slow sip. The warmth moves through her gently, not sharp, not intense, just soothing. She holds the cup close, letting the heat remain against her palms. Rowan takes his cup and drinks as well, his movements calm and steady. They sit in the clearing for a long moment, not speaking, simply resting in the quiet. The forest continues around them without change. The lantern glows. The moonlight rests. The breeze comes and goes softly. The insects continue their small, repeating chorus. After a while, Alina sets her cup down carefully on the cloth. Rowan does the same. He folds the cloth slowly, placing the cups inside, and tucks it back into his bag with quiet, practiced movements. Everything is unhurried. Alina stands from the stone, feeling the gentle shift of her weight. She stretches her arms slightly, then lets them fall back to her sides. Rowan stands too, lifting the lantern and letting it hang comfortably in his hand. They leave the clearing and return to the path. The trees close in again, and the moonlight becomes more filtered, softer, dimmer. lantern's glow becomes more noticeable, though still gentle, still warm. It moves across the path in a slow rhythm, revealing roots and small stones in a calm way. Their footsteps continue. Press into earth, lift again. Press, lift. The sound is soft. The repetition is soothing. The breeze moves through leaves overhead, creating a faint, steady rustle that rises and falls. Alina's shawl shifts lightly at her shoulders. Rowan's coat moves softly with each step. The air remains warm and calm, with only a faint coolness that brushes the skin now. And then, never enough to disturb comfort, they pass a small cluster of ferns that glimmer faintly in the lantern light. They pass a fallen log beside the path, its surface smooth and dark. They pass stones half covered in moss, the moss soft and velvety in the moonlight. The forest remains consistent. The path remains gentle. The night remains warm. There is no rush, no destination that matters. Only the quiet continuation of walking, the calm presence of trees, the soft movement of air and fabric and light. Alina slows slightly as the path begins to slope downward. Rowan matches her pace without effort. The lantern swings in the same gentle rhythm. The moonlight continues to rest across the leaves above, pale and smooth. They come to a small stream crossing the path. The water is shallow and clear, moving slowly over stones. It makes a soft, repeating sound, a gentle murmur that blends into the forest's quiet chorus. Alina steps carefully onto a flat stone at the edge, then to another, her movements slow and steady. Rowan follows, holding the lantern a little higher so its glow rests over the water. The stream's sound is calming in its repetition. The water moves, the sound repeats, the sound repeats again. The stones are cool underfoot. The air near the stream feels slightly cooler, fresh, and clean. Alina crosses to the other side and steps back onto the earth path. Rowan follows, and the lantern's glow returns to the leaves and roots ahead. They continue walking. The stream remains behind them, its sound fading gently. The forest's other sounds return to the foreground. Leaves rustle softly. Insects continue. The night remains still. Alina's breathing slows further, becoming deeper and quieter. Rowan's breathing matches the calm rhythm. Their steps remain steady. The lantern continues its gentle swing. The moonlight remains soft. The path curves and curves again. Each curve is gentle. Each turn feels familiar. The forest repeats itself in soothing patterns. Trunks, leaves, ferns, moss. Warm air, soft light, quiet sounds. The repetition feels comforting. After some time, they reach another clearing, smaller than the first, where the moonlight falls in a pale pool on the ground. In the center stands a single tall tree, its branches reaching upward like slow arms. Alina pauses at the edge of the clearing, and Rowan pauses beside her. They stand quietly for a moment, letting the stillness settle. The lantern lantern's glow mixes with the moonlight again. The forest remains calm. The air remains warm. There is nothing to do but rest in the moment, and then continue in the same gentle way, step by step, deeper into the warm forest under soft moonlight, as the sounds repeat softly and predictably, and the night carries on without hurry. Alina and Rowan remain at the edge of the small clearing for a quiet moment longer, not because they are deciding anything, but because the stillness here feels pleasant. The moonlight rests on the ground in a pale pool, and the lantern adds a gentle amber warmth to the edges of the light, softening it even more. The tall tree at the center of the clearing stands steady and quiet, its trunk smooth in places and textured in others, its branches reaching upward without movement. A small breeze passes through the leaves overhead, and the sound is the same soft rustle it has been all along, rising gently and then settling again. Insects continue their quiet, repeating chorus from the undergrowth. Somewhere farther away, an owl calls once, low and calm, and then becomes quiet again. The night feels undisturbed. Alina steps forward into the clearing with slow, unhurried movement. Her shoes press softly into the earth and lift again. Rowan follows, the lantern swinging lightly, left and right, left and right, in a rhythm so consistent it feels like part of the forest's breathing. The lantern's glow moves across the ground and briefly touches the roots of the tall tree, then drifts away again. They walk around the tree at an easy pace, not circling tightly, only moving in a gentle curve that brings them closer to the center and then outward again. Alina reaches out and touches the bark with the tips of her fingers. The surface is cool and firm, grounding. Her hand falls back to her side, and she continues walking, her shoulders soft. Rowan pauses near one of the roots that rises slightly above the ground. He lowers the lantern beside it, and the light pools warmly on the earth. He stands still for a moment, breathing slowly, then sits down on the ground with a calm, careful motion, as if settling into a familiar seat. Alina sits as well, not far from him, letting her body ease down gradually, knees bending, hands touching the ground briefly for balance. The ground beneath them is warm from the day, though the surface air is cool enough to feel clean. The warmth comes through the fabric of their clothing, gentle and steady. Alina adjusts her shawl around her shoulders, a small movement that makes the fabric whisper softly. Then she becomes still again. Rowan rests his hands loosely on his knees, fingers relaxed, and he looks toward the lantern's glow for a moment before letting his gaze soften. The clearing holds a quiet, steady atmosphere. Moonlight above, lantern light below. Warm earth beneath, cool air around. Leaves shifting faintly. Insects continuing their repetitive sound. Everything feels balanced, and the balance feels calming. Alina's breathing grows slower, deeper, and the rise and fall of her chest becomes subtle. She lets her hands rest in her lap, palms warm. Rowan's breathing is the same, steady and quiet. Neither of them needs to speak. The silence is comfortable. After a time, Rowan reaches into his bag and removes a small folded blanket. The fabric is soft and slightly worn, as if it has been used many times. He shakes it out gently, and the motion is slow enough that it makes almost no sound. He spreads it on the ground between them, smoothing it with his palm in long, calm strokes. Alina shifts slightly closer, sitting on the edge of the blanket. Rowan sits opposite her, and the blanket becomes a small, warm island in the clearing. The lantern rests near the root, its glow steady, never flickering. They sit like this for a while, letting the night continue around them. The clearing does not change. The moonlight remains soft. The lantern light remains warm. The sounds remain predictable. Eventually, Alina leans back slightly, supporting herself with one hand on the ground behind her, then easing down until her shoulders touch the blanket. She rests there, looking up toward the canopy. The leaves above form a dark lace against the pale sky. The moonlight filters through in faint patterns that shift only when the breeze passes, and even then, the movement is slow and gentle. Rowan lowers himself as well, lying on his side at first, then slowly rolling onto his back. He folds his hands loosely over his chest, letting his elbows rest comfortably. His face remains calm, neutral, peaceful. The lantern's glow reaches him softly, warming the lower edge of his coat and the side of his face. The warmth of the ground rises gently into their bodies. The cool air brushes their cheeks lightly. The contrast feels soothing, steady. Their breathing remains slow, and the forest sounds continue to repeat around them. A faint sound of water reaches them from somewhere nearby. Perhaps the stream they crossed earlier, now flowing beyond the trees. It is quiet, barely more than a murmur, and it blends into the insect chorus and the leaf rustle, adding another layer of soft repetition. Alina's eyelids grow heavier. She blinks slowly, then lets her eyes rest closed for a moment. When she opens them again, the scene has not changed. The tree is still there. The lantern still glows. The moonlight still rests. The air still feels warm and calm. Rowan's breathing becomes even deeper, his chest rising and falling in a slow pattern. He shifts one shoulder slightly, then becomes still again. The blanket beneath him remains smooth and soft. Time passes quietly. The clearing remains steady. The night remains warm. After a while, Alina sits up slowly, not abruptly, only enough to adjust her position. She folds her shawl more closely around her shoulders, feeling the soft fabric settle against her skin. Then she eases back down again, letting her body rest fully. Her arms relax at her sides, palms open. Rowan remains still, breathing softly. The lantern's glow continues. The moonlight continues. The leaves continue their gentle rustle. The insects continue their repeating chorus. The forest seems to hold the clearing like a quiet bowl, protecting it from any distant noise. There is no sound of people, no sound of roads, only natural repetition. Wind in leaves, insects in grass, faint water, steady breathing. Alina's thoughts drift in a soft, unformed way, like clouds moving slowly across a calm sky. Nothing catches, nothing holds. Her body feels heavy and supported. Her breathing stays slow. The warmth of the ground is steady beneath her. Rowan's breathing remains slow and even. His hands rest loosely. His face stays relaxed, as if the night itself has eased every muscle. The lantern's glow reaches his fingers, making them look softly warm, then fades into shadow again, never sharp. Eventually, the breeze becomes slightly quieter. The leaves still move, but with less sound, as if the air itself has softened. The insect chorus continues, steady and predictable. The moonlight remains pale and smooth. Alina and Rowan remain resting on the blanket beneath the tall tree, surrounded by the warm forest under soft moonlight. The lantern continues to glow in its gentle pool. The ground remains warm. The air remains calm. The sounds repeat softly, and the night continues on in the same quiet way, steady and unhurried, carrying them further into stillness with each slow breath and each gentle moment, as the forest holds its calm and continues beyond what needs to be noticed. The forest remains settled around them, holding its quiet shape as the night deepens without changing its gentle tone. Alina lies still on the blanket, her body fully at rest now, supported by the warm earth beneath her and the soft fabric beneath her shoulders. The shawl rests lightly against her arms, and when she breathes in, the fabric lifts almost imperceptibly, then settles again as she breathes out. Each breath follows the last in a slow, even rhythm, unforced and easy. Rowan remains beside her, his posture unchanged, his breathing deep and calm. The rise and fall of his chest is steady, creating a quiet pattern that blends with the sounds of the forest. The lantern beside the tree root continues to glow with the same soft amber light, its flame steady and patient, casting a warm circle that does not flicker or shift. Above them, the canopy of leaves barely moves now. The breeze has softened further, and the rustling sound has become quieter, more distant, as if the forest itself has settled into rest. Insects continue their gentle chorus, repeating the same calm sounds again and again, never growing louder, never fading completely. Somewhere farther away, the stream continues to flow, its murmur faint and constant. Alina's breathing grows slower still, each inhale deepening slightly, each exhale lingering just a little longer. Her hands rest open at her sides, fingers loose and relaxed. The warmth of the ground beneath her feels steady and reassuring, rising gently into her back and shoulders. The coolness of the night air brushes her cheeks softly, creating a comfortable balance. Rowan shifts his head slightly, finding a position that feels even more at ease, then becomes still again. The movement is small and quiet, and it fades into the stillness almost immediately. The lantern's glow touches the edge of his coat and then drifts away, leaving his face partly in shadow, smooth and calm. Time continues to pass without markers. The clearing remains unchanged. The tree stands quietly above them, its branches forming a protective shape against the sky. The moonlight filters through the leaves in faint patterns that no longer feel new, only familiar and soothing. The forest sounds repeat in the same gentle way, creating a steady background that asks for nothing. Alina's eyelids remain closed now, and her thoughts drift without forming clear shapes. Sensations come and go softly. The feel of fabric, the warmth of earth, the quiet movement of air. Each sensation fades gently into the next, never demanding attention, never lingering too long. Rowan's breathing remains deep and even. His hands rest loosely, his shoulders relaxed. The night seems to carry both of them without effort, holding them in a space where nothing needs to change. The lantern continues to glow, its light warm and constant. The insects continue their soft sounds. The stream continues its quiet flow. The forest remains still and welcoming. As the night stretches on, everything settles further into the same calm rhythm. The clearing feels suspended in gentle stillness, as if it exists outside of time. Alina and Rowan remain at rest beneath the tree, breathing slowly, supported by the forest around them, while the warm night air and soft moonlight continue to hold the scene in quiet balance, and the forest carries on calmly, steadily, into the deeper night.